This is a life or death issue for your company. If every person doesn't step up, think about what you're missing. I'll tell you a wonderful story. How many of you know what this drink is up here? The real Starbucks fans know exactly what it is, but it's a family of drinks called the Frappuccino. How many of you think the Frappuccino made a little bit of money for Starbucks? Yeah. How does $3.5 billion of profit sound? Sound like a good idea? Now, surely an idea that great must have been invented by the product and marketing and innovation team at Starbucks, of which at the time they had 100 people who did nothing full-time but come up with new menu ideas. Let me tell you the real story behind the Frappuccino, as told to me by my friend Howard Bahar, whose picture is here. Santa Monica, California, a hot summer just outside of Los Angeles Airport, 2 small Starbucks stores in Santa Monica. In the middle of May, it's already sweltering. 2 frontline employees notice that regular customers have not been coming in as often. Now, by the way, if you ever trying to sell your CEO or executives on why engagement matters, you ought to tell them this story. Because beyond the surveys and the research, this story tells you everything about why engagement matters. 2 frontline people notice regular customers not coming in as often as they usually do, so they do what engaged owners do. They ask them, "We've missed you, where have you been?" They say, "Well, here's the deal. It's so hot this summer in LA. There's a local coffee shop serving a cold, delicious drink, iced coffee drink. Until it cools down, you're not going to see much of us because it's too hot for hot coffee." On their own time after work, they go to the local coffee shop, taste the drink, come back and tell their manager, Dina Campion, the next day, "You got to come on a field trip with us." They take her down. She loves the drink. She immediately calls her manager, Howard Bahar, who ran 70 stores for Starbucks in Southern California at the time. "Howard, you got to come down." Howard comes down the next day, and I love what Howard Bahar told me. He said, "John, from the moment I cradled this drink in my hand, I was in love." He said, $4, all ice. He said, "This is a winner." He said, "But Dina, great idea, but we're a chain. We can't willy-nilly just go and offer new menu items. We don't do things that way at Starbucks. I'm up in Seattle next week. I will personally pitch the idea, see if we can experiment with the idea here in Santa Monica." Howard goes up the next week. He gives his best shot. On a 7-to-1 vote, the senior team at Starbucks says no. Now, some of you are thinking, how could people so dumb have one of the most profitable companies in the world, right? But let me tell you the 2 reasons they said no, and you tell me if these words have ever been uttered in your company. Number 1 reason they said, "You know what, it really does sound like a good idea, but the product and marketing and innovation team are working on some of their own ideas right now. We don't want to step on their turf." In other words, what were they really saying? It's not your job. It's not in your job description to come up with new ideas, but thank you for sharing. The second thing they said is, "Well, you know, it really does sound like a winner, but to be honest, we got to stay core to what we do. We don't really think we're in the cold dessert drink business. We're in the hot coffee business. It's really important for us to stay core." So I said, "Great idea, but that's not the business that we're in." Now, by the way, I don't know a lot about all your businesses in the room, but I work with enough businesses to know that these days, with the environment changing the way it is, when people ask me, what business should we be in, here's my answer. If your customers need it and you're capable of providing it, it's on the table. If your existing customers and potential customers need it and you have the capacity to provide it, it better at least be open for conversation. Howard goes back, he says no. The next 3 weeks, they are calling him up every day. "Howard, they made a mistake. Howard, they're wrong." Till finally the phone goes silent. 3.5 more weeks later, Dina Campion calls up the store manager. "Howard, you got to come down to the stores." "Why? You just got to come." Howard comes, first thing he sees, people walking around with big cold dessert drinks. On the counter, a handwritten sign, "Frappuccino, $3.75. Dina says, "Howard, you can fire me if you want to, but I got to tell you what happened." She said, "I came back, told my people no. They said, 'Dina, they're wrong. We love this company too much to let a dumb idea, a good idea, die on the vine. We have to prove them wrong.'" She said, "Howard, we had no idea how to even make this drink. We went to a local supermarket, got some blenders, started mixing some crap together." Well, not crap. I don't want to ruin the Frappuccino for you. Started mixing some stuff together. Within a couple days, we got something tasted pretty decent. "Howard, let me show you the numbers. First day in each of our stores, an average of 20. Second day in each of my 2 stores, an average of 30. Third day, 50. Fourth day, 70. Howard, we're now selling 230 every day in each of my 2 stores. It's going up about 5 to 7% per day. What do you want us to do? Now just imagine, you're a middle manager in a company running 70 stores. The CEO and the senior team voted 7-1, said we don't want to hear about this idea again. Your employees have gone rogue. What do you do? I love what Howard did. First thing he said is, Dina, definitely keep offering the drink. Second, if anybody from corporate is coming that day, don't offer the drink that day. True story. Third, no big sign, just a handwritten sign. This is a Santa Monica thing, not a Starbucks thing. Most of all, keep me posted. By the end of that hot summer in October, they had done $1.1 million of gross sales in the drink that later became the Frappuccino. Now, of course, Starbucks adopted the idea. Howard, by the way, eventually becomes the president of Starbucks International, running their entire international operation. But here's the real moral to the story. How many Frappuccinos are dying every day in your company?